Hi guys, it is time for reading. I need you to grab your Reading Street book, and we're going to open up to page 598. On Friday, Mrs. Quinn was reading the story to you, and today we're going to finish it up. So we're going to start right at the top. Christmas Eve, December 24th, Palmer Station. It was 3 in the morning, bright outside, and I couldn't sleep. I crept downstairs, signed out, and took the flagged trail up the glacier. Dressed in a watchman's cap, 3 layers under my parka, and sorrel boots, I climbed in a stillness broken only by the noise of snow crunching under my soles. Greenish purple clouds covered the sky from edge to edge. The sea was the color of pewter, so it was a dark gray. And I know that dark gray can mean a storm might be coming. It looks very forbidding out. Near the top, I heard a cracking sound, a slap magnified 1,000,000 times in my ear. Another followed, then another. Echoes of sound, aftershocks, sizzled in the air. The sky began to glow with an eerie luminescence, as if someone in the heavens had switched on a neon light in place of the sun. Here you can kind of see the sky looking gray and neon. Page 599. I felt myself dropping straight down. A crack had appeared under me, a crevice in the glacier. Summer softening of the ice had thrown the pole settings off. I'm alive because the crack was narrow. I fell to my shoulders, my boot soles too wide to fit through the bottom of the crack. I stared below into a blue-green hole cut with facets like a diamond. After a few deep breaths, I began to scramble out. Terrified the crack would keep growing, I moved slowly. It was an hour before I was on firm ice. The color of the sky shifted to blue-gray with streaks of yellow along the western horizon. To my horror, I saw a pattern of cracks zigzagging like fractured window glass across the glacier surface. I checked my watch. I'd been gone 3 hours. I don't know why, but I didn't want anyone rescuing me. I decided to crawl down the glacier on hands and knees. I felt my way inch by inch, rubbing the surface of the snow with my palms before making a move. Back before the hour someone would have come looking for me, I told the station manager what happened. Trained in glaciology, he went up the glacier to reset the flags. I have a new wariness tonight, born of having been frightened out of my wits while watching one of the most beautiful skies I'll ever see. So, the author fell through a crack in the ice of a melting glacier, and 91% of the world's glaciers are found in Antarctica. The sea level of the world's oceans is rising every year, and melting glaciers are believed to be a contributing factor. Global warming, or an increase in Earth's temperatures, increases the melting. However, global warming should also cause more snow to fall because warmer air holds more moisture. Some scientists think this increase in snow accumulation should offset the effect of the melting glaciers. But this whole global warming idea, it's very controversial in the scientific community. So one scientist will say one thing and another scientist will say another. I think it's weird that the author doesn't want anybody to rescue her. But I think what she wants is to show that she can get herself out of trouble. She's been very independent, taking this trip down to the bottom of the world all by herself. And I think she wants to continue to do things by herself. let's turn the page. We're on 600. February 16th, on the Polar Duke. I am along on a trip of the Polar Duke, north of Palmer and Gerlache Strait. The crew and scientists trawl for krill using fine mesh nets dropped off the stern. Coming back, we see icebergs drifting south out of the Weddell Sea. The bergs originate hundreds of miles away and ride ocean currents. We sail close, but not too close, for beneath the waves is where the bulk of an iceberg is. Seawater splashes up on iceberg shores shaped by years of wave action. Sunlight strikes gleaming ramparts that shine with rainbow colors. Erosion works at the ice, creating caves and hollows, coves and inlets. Penguins and seals hitch rides on icebergs. Gulls and other seabirds rest on high points. One iceberg collides in slow motion with another. The smaller one topples, rolls, and heaves like a dying rhinoceros. Emerald seawater mixed with spray drenching its surfaces. I yearn to ride an iceberg like a penguin or a gull, touching its frozen sides, drifting slowly on the waves. I draw them, but I can't capture their splendor. The other day, we talked about how a sequoia tree was compared to the box, and the student used the word as, and I said that's a simile. Here, we're comparing an iceberg to a dying rhinoceros. They're using the word like. That's also a simile. Page 601. March 12th, winging home. Before leaving, I collected, with permission, a sterile penguin egg that would never hatch. I made room for it in my suitcase by giving a lot of my clothes away. The airline lost my bag in Miami. I told the airline people that I had to have it back, pleading, begging. It has a penguin eye in it. It has a penguin egg in it, I said. They glanced at each other and eyed me funny. Fortunately for me and them, they found the bag. The egg reminds me of my trip to the place where penguins raise downy chicks, krill swarm in numbers greater than stars in the sky, whales have rights, and icebergs drift in graceful arcs across southern ocean swells. At home, I'll look out at the desert landscape and remember the Antarctic desert, the last great wilderness on Earth. I think it's funny when the airline people eye her funny. That means that they look at her in an odd or suspicious way. I imagine they wondered, what in the world was she talking about? Is she telling the truth? Because how often do you have anybody saying they have a penguin egg in their suitcase? You're going to go ahead and do the papers I gave you. It has our vocab words on it from this story. And then there's 4 questions that you have to answer. And then when you come back to school on Thursday, we're going to be looking at pictures of different animals that live down in Antarctica. And we'll be taking a closer look at the icebergs.